You would prefer cars to actually look good, right? Like that's not a controversial statement? Well, buckle up, because American automakers have spent the last century proving that sometimes, they just completely forgot what the aesthetic appeal even means. Today, we're counting down the top 10 ugliest American cars ever made. And bro, some of these are genuinely offensive to look at. Starting off with a car that's ugly for a very specific reason. It took one of America's most legendary muscle cars and turned it into this, the Mustang II. Look at this thing on the screen here. Look at it. The Mustang is supposed to be a beacon of sportiness, speed, American muscle. This car is the materialization of depression and loneliness. Its design is so bland and the engine so slow that even Ford would like to forget this edition exists. Doesn't even look like a Mustang, bro. At best, it looks like a poorly made Soviet car from the early 1960s. The worst part? Ford knew what they were doing. They had the formula down with the original Mustangs of the 60s. But then the oil crisis hit and they panicked. Instead of adapting while keeping the spirit alive, they gave up on everything that made the Mustang cool. They created what is basically an economy car wearing a Mustang badge like stolen valor. Absolutely criminal.
Moving on to the AMC Pacer. This car genuinely looks like a fishbowl on wheels, and I'm not even being creative here. That's what everyone called it. It's so wide and so round that it looks like someone inflated a normal car with an air pump and just stopped halfway through. Check out these proportions on the screen. The car had 70% glass area. 70%. You're basically driving a greenhouse, man. In the summer, you're getting cooked alive like a rotisserie chicken. In the winter, everyone within a 3-block radius can watch you freeze to death in HD clarity. AMC marketed this as a futuristic design, and I guess they were right, because it looked like no other car on the road. Unfortunately, that's not always a good thing, bro. Sometimes being different just means being ugly, and the Pacer is living proof of that. Oh, you thought the Pacer was AMC's only sin? No. AMC was on an absolute tear in the 70s, making ugly cars, and the Gremlin might actually be worse. The Gremlin looks like someone took a normal car and just chopped off the back half with a hacksaw, like they ran out of metal halfway through production and said, "F it, ship it anyway." The wild part is that the Gremlin sold well enough to remain in production for 8 years. 8 years of this abomination being inflicted on the American public. It compensated for what it lacked in beauty with smooth handling and a powerful engine. But bro, at what cost? Having to be seen in this thing? The Gremlin was supposed to compete with fuel-efficient foreign cars, but instead it became a rolling advertisement for why you should probably just buy the Honda instead. The Chevrolet Camaro of the 1990s is what happens when you take a legendary muscle car and run it through a design process led by people who apparently hated excitement. Look at this thing. There was absolutely nothing about this Camaro that screamed speed. The 1968 Camaro was iconic. This looks like a melted bar of soap with a body kit from Temu. The proportions are weird, the angles are all wrong, and that front end looks like it's perpetually depressed. Even the Z28, which should be the cool version, looks like it's given up on life. The 90s were a weird era for muscle cars, I get it. Environmental regulations, change in tastes, whatever. But a company like Chevrolet should have never destroyed a legendary nameplate like this. This generation of Camaro is proof that sometimes it's better to just kill a model than to let it suffer in public, bro. The Pontiac Transport and its twin, the Chevrolet Lumina APV. These minivans look like someone designed them in a fever dream after watching too much sci-fi. People literally called them the Dustbuster vans because that nose is so weird. Look at that front end. It's like they took a normal minivan and said, what if we made it look like a suppository on wheels? Parallel parking this thing must have been like trying to land a spaceship blindfolded. It's been compared to everything from a spaceship to a vacuum cleaner to weird sci-fi props. Nobody could agree on what it looked like because it looked like nothing that should exist on roads. This is what peak 90s design hubris looks like. Thinking you're being futuristic when really you're just being fucking weird, man.
Here it is, the car you've all been waiting for, the Pontiac Aztek, the most universally hated car in modern American history. Look at this absolute unit of ugliness on your screen right now. It's like someone took a minivan, a tent, and leftover plastic cladding from a Home Depot dumpster and mashed them together in a nightmare. Pontiac thought this was going to be their breakthrough vehicle. They marketed it as the ultimate adventure car for young people. Instead, it became the poster child for what the f were they thinking? Breaking Bad specifically chose the Aztek for Walter White because it screamed midlife crisis and poor decision-making. That's your legacy, Pontiac. Your car was used as a visual metaphor for a man's descent into moral bankruptcy. The Aztek wasn't even a bad car functionally. It was practical, had decent cargo space, but nobody wanted to be seen in one. That's how ugly it was, bro. Your car could cure cancer, but if it looks like the Aztek, nobody's buying it.
Oh, you thought the Aztek was the only ugly crossover disaster Pontiac made? No. General Motors said we can make this worse and gave us the Buick Rendezvous, the Aztek's even less attractive cousin that somehow looks more depressed. The Rendezvous looks like a bloated minivan that got stung by bees and then gave up on life. It's got this weird bulbous shape, awkward proportions that are too tall and too wide and somehow still looks cramped inside. The front end looks like it's perpetually frowning at you for making poor life choices. And check this out, both the Aztek and Rendezvous were built on the same platform. GM literally said, you know what will be great? Making the same ugly car twice, but with different badges, and somehow making the second one even sadder looking. Incredible business strategy, bro. Absolutely incredible.
The PT Cruiser. Oh my God, bro. This car tried so hard to be retro cool and instead became the official vehicle of I Hate Myself. Chrysler was going for a throwback to 1930s hot rods, but what they actually created was a car that looks like it's constantly melting. The proportions are completely off. The fake wood paneling option made it look like a hearse for geriatric clowns. That weird hunchback rear end, absolutely criminal. And yet, they sold over 1.3 million of these things. A million. People saw this design and said, yes, I want to be seen in public in this. This car has appeared on countless worst cars ever lists and became such a punchline that its name is literally synonymous with automotive failure. The PT Cruiser is proof that nostalgia bait design doesn't work when the execution is this bad, man. The Chevrolet HHR, which stands for Heritage High Roof, but should stand for Holy Hell, really? This is literally just the worst version of the PT Cruiser. Same designer, Brian Nesbitt, moved from Chrysler to Chevy and said, you know what? I'm gonna make the same ugly car again. The proportions are off, the fake nostalgia aesthetic falls completely flat, and somehow it manages to be even more awkward than the PT Cruiser it's copying. Chevy looked at the PT Cruiser, a car already on every ugliest cars list, and thought, we need that energy. They literally copied homework and somehow made it worse. The HHR is proof that bad ideas can be contagious when designers job hop between companies, man. And finally, number one, the car's so ugly it makes everything else on this list look like Italian supercars, the Tesla Cybertruck. Now look, I know some of you are going to be mad about this, but hear me out. The Cybertruck looks like someone asked an alien to design a pickup truck based solely on a napkin sketch from a 1980 sci-fi movie. It's got all these sharp angles and flat panels, like Elon Musk discovered the triangle shape and decided that was the only geometry that should exist.
This thing is genuinely dangerous to pedestrians because it's made of sharp stainless steel with no crumple zones. It rusts if you look at it wrong. The panels don't line up, it gets stuck in snow, the accelerated pedal falls off. It's basically a $100,000 debt trap. The Cybertruck represents everything dystopian about modern tech culture. An egotistical billionaire forcing an objectively terrible design on the public because he's surrounded by yes-men who won't tell him the truth. It's ugly, it's impractical, it's dangerous, and it costs more than most people's annual salary. This is what happens when you give infinite money to someone with zero taste.
And there you have it, the top 10 ugliest American cars ever made. If you survived watching this video without permanent retinal damage, smash that like button. If you think I'm wrong about any of these, you're entitled to your opinion in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next one. Drive safe, and for the love of God, if you see any of these cars on a used lot, just keep walking, bro.